Welcome and thanks for riding with the Cowboy. Well, on tonight's show we're going to talk about the Buccaneers and their OTAs as they continue to have some practice, voluntary workouts over at One Buck Place. Same players are still playing. Some are participating, some aren't. Training camp officially hasn't began, and a lot of the camps are still having some of the 90 members on each roster go in and run routes and work out on the weights and try to learn the offense before the training camp starts in July. And the Bucs are no different from anybody else. All 32 teams are doing it, and Baker Mayfield and Trask is over there learning the Canales offense, along with Whooper, the third string. And we've got a couple of unrestricted free agent quarterbacks on the roster too that's probably trying to learn as much as they can before July, so that when they get out of training camp they'll look good for the coaches when he calls a route or a play. So a lot of attention by these unrestricted free agents and new free agents and rookies that were drafted and new players on the teams to being seen around the facility before training camp in a voluntary quote-unquote way. So no real big news over there. Fiedler, the guard that we acquired from the Chargers, 6'6", 335, 6-year pro, 4 years with the Steelers, 2 years with the Chargers. He's going to start at left guard. We found that out this week, which is a big. We figured he would. And Tristan Wirfs is going to start at left tackle, so that we know that Wirfs is at left tackle and Fiedler's at left guard, and we know Jensen's going to be the center. Now you start going the other way. We don't know about that right guard or right tackle. We got an idea who they are, but we'll see how training camp takes part. We got plenty of candidates for those two positions. And of course, we need Robert Hainsey on the roster. So if Jensen goes down, we got a center. So we got a lot yet to learn, but we learned something this week in some of the conferences with the coaches as they talked about what they expected in training camp and who they expected to be where. So we found some information out about the Bucs. Not a great week as far as information on football in general. As you know, Dalvin Cook was released by the Minnesota Vikings, the top running back, one of the top 10 running backs in the NFL. He was cut because of salary cap concerns. He's looking for a contract, and DeAndre Hopkins, a receiver from the Arizona Cardinals, formerly of the Texans, is looking for a team too. He's cut too, looking for a team. Plenty of veteran players out there still looking for teams. Some of them got enough money to sit at home and wait till somebody gets hurt during regular season and then make that phone call. Some want to make a team, and some don't much care because they're setting up in some $1 million mansions with a big $1 million bank account, so they're not in no hurry. So we'll keep you posted on what's going on around the NFL, but all things Buccaneers is about what we had them last show. We're going to move on now to hockey, and the Stanley Cup final champions. The new champions are the Las Vegas Golden Knights. They are the Stanley Cup champions this year. They beat the Florida Panthers last night 9-1. Ended that 7-game series 4-1, beating the Florida Panthers out of Miami. And so congratulations to the Las Vegas Golden Knights, being the NHL Stanley Cup champions for this season. And then I want to also mention the Denver Nuggets defeating the Miami Heat 4-1 and becoming the NBA World Champions this year. Denver Nuggets, first time in their franchise history as world champions in all the years that they've had all the teams. And so congratulations to the Denver Nuggets, the world champions in the NBA. And congratulations to Miami Heat for being in that game. And congratulations to Florida Panthers for being in the Stanley Cup, because to get there is victory. And congratulations even to those who didn't become champions. So we're going to move on now to our Tampa Bay Rays, which are out in Oakland against the A's, which are the worst team in baseball about 2 weeks ago, but they got pretty hot and won 8 straight, and we had to go into their stadium on a hot streak, and we've lost 2 straight to Oakland. We lost 4-2 last night. We had some pitchers in there from Durham I'd never seen before, no regular starters on our starting rotation that I was aware of in that rotation the last couple of days. We do play tonight at 9:40 Eastern time, so it's going to be a late night game. If you're going to stay up and watch it, starts at 9:40. We're still leading the American League East. Everybody's bunching up. We're getting ready to get into a hot part of the summer, and we're going to see where everybody lies by the time September gets here. So right now we're where we should be. We've been a little rough stretch, but it's been a long flight from Florida to California. You know, it's got to affect them a little bit when they fly all that way and then have to reset up their lifestyle away from home on the other side of the country. So I'm sure that it does affect them a little bit. We'll keep you posted on the race here, though. And then 24-hour Le Mans, the crown jewel of the Triple Crown of World Endurance Racing, Ferrari making its return to the biggest class, its first return in 50 years to the #1 class, the biggest prototype super hybrids. Ferrari's first appearance in 50 years. They won the race. They beat the Toyota team. It was a tough race. I stayed up personally and watched over 15 hours of the coverage from France myself personally. I was following the number 24 Hendricks Motorsport NASCAR team, 56 Garage it was called. It was head up by Rick Hendricks. Jimmy Johnson drove that Camaro along with Jason Buttons and Mike Rockefeller to the 27th position. At one point, they finished 31st out of 60 cars. So congratulations to the Camaro team. They did what they wanted. They got out there and competed. They were the only team that had manual jacks. Everybody else's jacks were in the car. You stuck the air hose to the back and they came out of the frame. The car popped up off the ground. Only one car had a jack man, and that was the NASCAR Camaro. But we held in there. We run hard, and DJX, I know, is like I am with the Camaros, and we wanted to follow that race, and we sure did. The Ferraris came out on top in that race. And so congratulations to Ferrari, and congratulations to 56, Garage, the Hendricks Motorsports NASCAR, and Jimmy Johnson, and Buttons, and Mike Rockefeller in that race for NASCAR this last Saturday in Le Mans, France. Now we're going to go to the golf. This week is the U.S. Open. As you know, there's 4 major championships in professional golf. There's the Masters of Augusta, the PGA Championship, the U.S. Open, and the last one of the 4 is the British Open at the end of July in England. So we're here this weekend in Los Angeles, California, and we're going to have the United States Open. All the major golfers of the world will be coming together. NASCAR will be taking the weekend off, as in all other racing will. So this is the prime attraction for us on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. And so now we're going to go to our questions, and the first question is from Tim, and Tim's from Tarpon Springs, and Tim wanted to know what I thought about the LIV and the PGA Golf Tour. Tim, I don't know enough about it. I know that the Saudis bought their way in, and they've taken a share of the PGA as far as a seat at the table. I don't know what the actual situation is, and it was a terrible situation, but it happened, and we got to move on from it, and that's the way it is. I do know that there's a lot of people that still don't have any understanding of what really took place, and maybe we'll never know. But I think that somebody would know and come out and let us know. But we'll keep you posted, Tim. God bless you for your question. The next question is from Anna, and Anna wanted to know what I thought about USF football in Tampa's new $30,000, $340 million stadium to be built on campus in Tampa. And I think it's an absolute wonderful day for the University of South Florida Bull football program. They waited 40 years for a stadium of their own, and they have one being built on their campus, in the heart of their campus, for $340 million. They have it in the bank, and they have the land, and it'll be up and ready for football, with Bull football, in 2026. So that's a good question. God bless you. Congratulations, USF, for that stadium, and we'll keep you posted on the progress of the Bulls this next year with their new head coach. And we hope we can make a turnaround on that football field. And the last question is from Lisa. And Lisa wanted to know why Wander Franco hadn't been in the lineup the last couple of days with the Rays. And Lisa, Juan has been suffering some kind of a cold or bronchial type thing, and we talked about moving around. Maybe he picked up something, and then there was a long trip out there, so I think they've given him a couple of days rest. Lisa, he might play tonight. I'll be watching the game, and we'll see if he makes the starting lineup, because we're in a big time difference where we are in Oakland, California. So God bless you, and thanks for your question, Lisa. DJX, what you got for me tonight?
Well, Cowboy, you know how we do it. Let's get right off into it, buddy. Steelers Pat Freiermuth dealing with injury.
Yes, he's dealing with some injuries right here in the OTAs, the ones that they did run that was mandatory to OTA. And I think he hurt his a calf muscle, which is a tough muscle. I hope he gets well before training camp.
Mm-hmm. Darrell Henderson, Keikoa Crawford among tryout players at Chiefs mandatory minicamp?
Well, these tryout players to get out there and see if they can make that 90-man roster. And you know, the 90 contracts are given to 90 players, and they're getting paid. But there's some of them out there on that cusp between maybe not being there and maybe being there. So if somebody comes in for a tryout, looks real good, then they might drop a couple of those spots and put them into that 90 rotation.
True. All right. Steelers back to full participation for second minicamp practice.
Well, that's good to hear. They had a real good first minicamp. Now they're going into the second one, and I think all systems are go for that Steelers team this year.
All right. All right, let's go to the board. Devin White not practicing at Bucks mandatory minicamp.
He, under his contract, has to attend, but he does not have to participate until training camp. And, you know, that's how they roll when you get a $12, $15 million a year in the bank. You know, you just, that's what your agent says. I wanted a long-term deal, and you guys said, well, wait till next year when there's money. Well, the contract says I have to be here, but I don't have to participate in training camp. So I'm just going to do that.
So he's there, but he's not actually.
No. And that's a snub to Buck management, because he asked Buck management for this training camp, give me extension. I only got one more year. I want an extension. They said, whoa, man, we just got out of debt. We just had to get Baker Mayfield. We don't have the money to give you an extension. I mean, we'll give you one, but I mean, we want. So, hey, I want one before I go play. Well, look, you're going to play. Oh, no, I'm not going to play. Well, if you don't want to play, then you sit out. I won't trade it. We don't have to trade you. What you going to do then? So, okay, so you know, they've had that. Now, he's came back last couple weeks and said, well, he understands how the finances of it is, and he's kind of embellished the press with that. Well, his contract says he doesn't have to participate in mandatory these OTAs. He's got to be there though to get that $1 million draw.
Right.
And he is there.
He there.
You done go right. He is. He's standing right on that side like, go man, go.
Right. Let's move on to the last and final. Buccaneers bring in competition at kicker.
Yes, they were going to do that. You know, we lost Ryan Suckup last year, Super Bowl kicker. We couldn't pay him $4.5 million. Couldn't do it. And we got a kicker, a couple of free agent kickers. One was an ex-Colt kicker, and one was an ex-Tennessee Titan kicker. We got a couple of unrestricted free agents, and that didn't have nobody pick them in the draft and put them on. We got like 3 or 4 kickers, but we need them because you know there's training camp. We got 3 football fields. So, you know, there'd be 3 different, you got to figure there's an offensive defense and there's 3 different full football fields. So there's like 6 teams going out there when they have training camp. And they can need a kicker on all them fields. So, they, you know what I mean? Even a couple of them. You know,
they're going to get a good one out.
They're going to try to, that's what they're going to do.
All right, well, that's what I got for you tonight, Cowboy.
Well, God bless you, DJX. And God bless each and every one of you for support of this show. Continue to share. Send your comments so we can answer your questions. I know there's been a lot of things going on in sports this last week with the LIV and the Saudi Arabian Golf Tour and Le Mans and the racing and some of the training camp news. The big news of the World Championships were settled this week, and that was the Nuggets winning theirs in the NBA and the Golden Knights winning theirs in the NHL. And so we'll keep you covered as much as we can on what is going on when NASCAR gets back after Father's Day. We'll go right on into NASCAR and some other things that will be happening when the next show takes place. Have a happy Father's Day, all you fathers out there and grandfathers and anyone else that's monumentous in someone's life because you're important to their life. Don't let nobody tell you you didn't. You heard it from the Cowboy. God bless you. Till the next show, Cowboy.